From struggle to billboard, an artist's journey of perseverance and inspiration. In this captivating episode of Entrepreneurship is a Marathon, we dive deep into the riveting life story of a remarkable musician and entrepreneur, Ace Patterson, widely known as Call Me Ace. Yes. With an impressive background as a former Google, YouTube, and music professional, and also as a Billboard-charting hip-hop artist, Ace will be sharing his profound insights and experiences in both the music industry and the world of business. If you're seeking motivation and encouragement in your own venture, this episode is a must listen. Tune in to witness the unwavering spirit of a remarkable artist and discover how staying true to oneself can lead to remarkable achievements in both the artistic and in both the business worlds. We have so much to chat about here today, so stay tuned.
Welcome to Entrepreneurship is a Marathon, a podcast about how you can grow a profit-producing, purpose-driven business without burnout. We don't need more people starting businesses. We need more people continuing. Each week, we'll deliver the latest and greatest tips, tricks, and strategies for you to revive, grow, and scale your business. Now, here's your host, consultant, professor, and the business defibrillator, Vanessa Zammi.
And I am joined here today with special guest Ace Patterson, also known as Call Me Ace. And we talk about his journey from struggle to billboard, an artist's journey of perseverance and inspiration, folks. Yes. It's so exciting. Happy to have you, Ace. Happy to have you.
Oh man, I'm so thankful to be here, Vanessa. And yo, shout out to that intro because that was wildly humbling. I'm like, dang. I don't know if this is a must listen to, but I appreciate everybody for listening. Whoever it is. For real.
All our guests are just so there's just so much humility there, folks, listeners. Okay, we are gonna start off as we always start off with in an episode. What has been your win of the week? So for those who are listening to us, whether you're listening to us on Spotify or iTunes or wherever you listen to us, type in or think about for yourself what's been your win of the week. And if you're watching us on LinkedIn or on YouTube, what has been your win of the week? Type it in the comments, okay? If you're watching on LinkedIn, it's to the right. If you're watching us on YouTube, scroll to the bottom of the page, hit that subscribe button, and then keep scrolling, and then type in what has been your win of the week, okay? Why do we do this? Because entrepreneurship is a marathon, as we are called, okay? It's very easy to get stuck in the lows, but there are always highs, whether personal or business. There's always something to celebrate. So it was something that you accomplished and you did, okay? So with that being said, Ace, what's been your win of the week?
I got two. So on the business front, currently been reiterating some of the details in the video game that we're building, 5 mics, and I was able to really see how all of the styles can align in playing with each other. What does that mean for the storytelling? What does that mean for meta strategies as we're thinking about developing all the different cards and the artists? And everything that I said is probably over everyone else's head, but it'll make more sense when you actually see it. But that was a huge win because everything is starting to make way more sense than it already has been. And it's been nice to just share that with the team because it's given us a stronger sense of like, yes, like we're on the right track. We're moving forward. Yes. Like this game is coming out great. So that was dope. On a personal side, taught my daughter a new sound. You know, she loves dogs. And so when she hears perro, she barks. When she hears leon, she growls. But now when she hears elefante, she goes, which is all I could ever ask for right now. So step by step, she's going to be a zoologist and
Love it. Fantastic. She'll incorporate that in the production of the music too. You know that she does as well too in the future. So it's great.
She can stay away from music. She doesn't have to do all that. She could be a human being. You know what I mean? Be an accountant. So Something else, right?
Love it. Fantastic. Letting the child choose her own career. Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Love it, love it. Fantastic. Well, speaking of music, my win is I will be heading off to Beyonce in concert. Okay, I'll be heading to that Renaissance tour. Completely different state than where I live in. Yes, I'm one of those people. I decided to fly to a whole other city and state, okay, to go see her concert. So I am one of those people. Thing. And so, yes. And while I'm there, I'm gonna see a client or two, so it's gonna be a nice, business trip as well. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome. So I'm excited about that. That's my win of the week. Is that's coming up, and I'm excited. I was mapping out my meal. What am I gonna eat? What am I gonna eat at? And let me book some stuff. So it's important. Where are you gonna eat? So for those listening, though, what's been your win of the week? Type it in the comments. We would love to read those and celebrate those with you as well too. Today, though, right now, we are going to get into more about Ace Patterson and his journey of perseverance and inspiration. Yes, we are. Yes. First, I'm reading his bio. Then I'm going to ask the questions, okay? And you're going to learn more about what I'm talking about. So, Ace Patterson, a Google YouTube music alum and a Billboard-charting hip-hop artist. Call me Ace. Is also the founder and CEO of 5 Mics, a digital hip-hop trading card game, which he was talking about earlier. Think Yu-Gi-Oh, but rappers instead of dragons. Ace is a first-generation Jamaican American, a first-generation college student. We have that in common. Well, I'm first-generation Haitian American. But anyways, graduating with a BA from Columbia University and an MBA from UC Berkeley Haas. Above all, Ace focuses on living an authentic lifestyle and encouraging his audience to live a rich life, not just a life full of riches. His motivation to navigate life's highs and lows is knowing that he'll be able to support others, also enduring life's hardships. And he is here with us to inspire and share that wisdom, to ensure that whether you are in the life's high right now, you're just listening to just inspire yourself again. Maybe you're in the lows right now, whether you're a musician or a business owner, maybe you're 5 years in, maybe you're 5 months in, whatever it may be. But we hope and we know that this episode will definitely be inspiring, uplifting for you. So, Ace, what I want to start out with, though, is music industry. As we know, the music industry can be incredibly competitive and demanding. Okay. What are just some key strategies that you use to really stand out and differentiate yourself from other artists in the market, whether it be in the past, what you use and what you use now, to really stand out and differentiate yourself?
That's a good question. I would say 3 things. So 1, I do not compare myself to any other artists, and I even go as far as to not care about what other artists are doing. And I do not say that lightly, because with social media and news articles, and especially when you have a bunch of friends in the industry, or people that are in the industry and you see them doing all these things, it can be very easy to be like, oh, they're doing these things, why am I not doing those things? Or I should be doing those things because they're doing those things. But I keep myself away from that. I don't like to overindulge and see what folks are doing. And that's not to say that I'm ignorant, right? If your friends are doing something dope, you cheer them on. That's what you should do, right? But it's different when you're cheering someone on versus coveting or desiring something that they have because you feel like you should have it, right? So I just ignore that. I focus on my own lane, which is connected to part 2, which is understanding what about my story, what about my talents, what about my capabilities makes me me. And so, for example, I've been working in the corporate world. We met each other in the corporate world, working at Deloitte, worked at Facebook, worked at Google, YouTube. And, for me, the fact that I had those experiences, by and large, made a lot of what I had to rap about different than my peers. And so I just leaned into that instead of being like, oh, well, other rappers are rapping about that, let me rap about that. It's like, no, let me lean into my experiences, my life stories, what I possess as my testimony, essentially. And therefore that's made all the music that I make relatively different from everyone else's. And that's without me having to try to be different. It's just, oh, let me just try to be more of me. And the third thing is just breaks. And so like especially like with everything increasing and, you know, the algorithms wanting more and more content on a daily, bi-daily, tri-daily basis, you know, sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to, I don't have to. Right. And I think that comes with just the fact that I'm not just a musician. And so there are other things that I do. There are other things that I care about. There are other priorities in my life that I love to give myself to. And when I feel like I'm just giving myself to the beast that is the insatiable algorithm or these quote unquote demands of what an artist should or could be, that actually drains me. That actually takes away from the joy of creating, the joy of, you know, expressing myself and connecting and doing performances. I mean, you see what happens when artists get burnt out. They cancel shows, you know, mid-tour, they're in the hospital, they're, you know, all kind of stuff. They lose inspiration and
they lose their
voice.
They
lose their voice, they break their leg, like all these kind of things, all these kind of stressors that just manifest in real ways. And I just don't want that. And so like anytime I feel like you know, I'm starting to lose the joy, I just take a break, and it's totally fine because I'd rather take a break than break. So those are my 3 things.
I love that. Say it again. I'd rather take a break than break. Oh my gosh, we got to quote that. All right. Yes, Ace. Yes. Love it. Fantastic. And I love what you mentioned in the beginning about the, you know, not comparing yourself and just being mindful. We had another guest on the show as well, too. It's like, what content are you consuming, right? There's the whole like, hey, let me not consume the negative news content, but also at the same time, be mindful of, yes, you support your peers, but then it's like, how do you support them, right? Are you supporting them by scrolling through your feed and making comparisons? You're like, oh, that's not me. Or I should be here right now. It's been 10 years. What's wrong with me? Or are you supporting them from a perspective of, you know, yes, I'm really proud of them. I'm going to go see them at that event. Or I'm going to, you know, it's just like there's a difference, right?
Exactly.
And watching your mind and how you're saying that and what you're actually doing. And if you find yourself, like at least, for me, I went this journey too. Well, I delete my Instagram, but I'm still on LinkedIn and Facebook. And so I find, you know, like when I'm on LinkedIn and Facebook, if I find myself scrolling through and saying, oh, I wish that was me versus, oh, go her, you know, then I know I need to stop scrolling.
That's right.
Okay.
That's
like,
right.
you know, don't scroll anymore.
You gotta put yourself on timeout at that point. Like,
yes.
Once it starts, right, like it's less you putting out and it's just you taking in, but you're not taking in with the desire to put out. You're just taking in to weigh yourself down. We've already, it's too late. Like we gotta recalibrate and like come back to a point where it's like, I bet like you can cheer that person on. And exactly like you said, like when the homies got shows, I pull up to the shows when I can. If I can't, I still share the word and then that's that, right? You celebrate them when they have good wins, but you also want to be there with them when they're down, because the reality is, especially like social media, you forget, but like people are human beings and they have down days, and everything that's online is a curated version of who they actually are. Like the thing that you might be in like, oh, wow, that's so awesome for them. They might not even be feeling joyful about it. They might feel pressured that they have to say something in order to say something. But in reality, they're like going through something in the moment of that. Right. And so it's very easy to forget that. But, you know, we have to treat each other as humans. And like the more you do this kind of stuff, the more you're just like, yo, no one's superheroes in this thing. Like we're all just trying our best. We're all just trying our best.
That is true. We are all trying our best. Oh, love it. This is great. Okay. So what were some of the pivotal moments in your journey as an artist and entrepreneur that helped shape your path to success on the Billboard charts, right? Like you had your highs and lows. What were some of those pivotal moments for you in your journey?
Let's see. You know, I'm an ex-consultant, so I like thinking in 3s and 5s. So three things. So one, growing up, my mom would tell me and my siblings that we're not minorities, just because we're dark skins. My family, as you read, right? Like born in Jamaica. I was the first one born in the States, but I lived in a basically Jamaican household. And, you know, in the Caribbean, in Jamaica, Haiti, like we are not minorities. And so that was an attitude that was ingrained early. So I never felt like I couldn't do something just because of the color of my skin, never felt incapable or like, if anything, I felt like I could do that and more. My dad used to work like all he did was work, and I would see that hustle. And even though he didn't go past the 8th grade, like he's been able to accomplish so much for himself and his family that I'm just like, yo, like it's just ingrained, right? Like I'm able to do above and beyond. And so feeling that capability. The second thing I would say is when I got an A in AP English in high school, writing a rap about Raskolnikov, I think his name was, in Crime and Punishment. That's when I was like, oh, I could play this game. I can play this game of, do the raps in the corporate organizations and like get myself some grades. And so like I did it in college. I when I left Facebook, I made a song called Facebook, went like little mini viral inside of Facebook, right? Like doing all these things. Left Google and made a whole album called Severance. Like that whole thing, it started when like the institutions gave me like high marks for my rapidy raps instead of writing a paper, which I knew they actually wanted me to do. So that that definitely, right, a seed. And then the third thing that I would say, just in between when I went to Facebook, when I left Deloitte, went to Facebook, I know they're called Meta now, but I wasn't there when they changed their name. In fact, in Facebook, I said, you can't spell Facebook without ACE. They mess around and change their name. I felt like they was bitter about the way that I was moving ex-Facebook. But in either case, jokes aside, when I at Facebook, what happens is that because they own Instagram and stuff like that, internally, you could see who Vanessa's IG name is blah, blah, blah. Let me go follow him or whatever the case, or let me be Facebook friends or whatever the case. I don't know if they changed that, but at least back then it was like, as soon as you join, like you just get a whole bunch of new, like my manager was my Facebook friend, CMO, like all these kind of folks. Right. And so, people's following me on IG, and I didn't have, when I was at Deloitte, I kept the lives separate. I was very like, I'm a consultant by day, rapper by night. Didn't nobody know. If somebody found out, like I was like, no, very like Superman Clark Kent. Yeah. When I was at Facebook, right? But then when I was at Facebook, everyone knew because they found the accounts because it was so easy. And so I'd go to the office, I'd go to meetings, and they was like, yo, like I heard your music is so dope. And like it just became a thing where it was like people knew I did this music stuff. And, at Facebook versus like consultant, like I got to dress however I wanted. So I'd dress as a rapper. People knew I was a rapper, and they'd like quote my lyrics like in the office. And like, it would trip me out at first because it felt like, they found out Peter Parker was Spider-Man.
Yeah, you're like, ooh, I'm about to get fired. I'm about to get
yeah. But what ended up happening was like I started performing on campus. Like I was doing 100 people, 1,000 people, several hundred people, 1,000 people shows like at Facebook. Like people were buying my albums and listening to me and coming to my shows from Facebook. And so like that's when my album hit the Billboard chart, or 2019, while I was at Facebook. The majority of the people that helped to push that forward were people that worked at the company, which was super dope, as well as like, fans outside of that. But by and large, like, I would go to the office being like, yo, I'm just as much a rapper here as I am an employee here. And my manager at the time, who's still a mentor to this day, he was the one that strongly encouraged. My first week when I got hired, he heard my music, told his line brothers. He said it was okay for me to go to Oakland, leave work early to go to Oakland and go headline my show. Like it was just on my first week. And so he was one of the ones that was like, lean into that. Like, look at this place the same way that E40 would look at, the parking lot with his car, and he had to like go sell CDs out the trunk. Like he was very much like, look at this place as like your headquarters. And that was it. That's when like my whole style changed. That's when I was really talking that corporate talk. And then just, those three, it was just like, what can't I do? Right. All of those three things connected got me to, be where I'm at right now.
Love it. Oh, that's so amazing. Just like the support that you had along the way and the support that you got along the way. And we're just leaning into like you had that positivity, or because some people might say, oh, okay, yeah, I got an A on that report, but they really want to write another report. So let me just keep doing that and hide it away. But really leaning into the signs that you were getting. This is what you were meant to do. And I know you probably faced numerous obstacles and setbacks throughout your journey. Can you share one specific challenge you encountered and just the valuable lessons you learned from it, so to speak?
Yeah. I could tell you about the time that we were homeless when I was a kid, and we were living in a homeless shelter. It was me and my mom, my older sister, my younger brother. And, during those times, what I would do was reenact Disney movie scenes to make my mom laugh. And I would just like really be elaborate with everything. I'd play like 8 characters at once. I have a pretty strong memory. So like I would just literally, we didn't have a TV, but I remember the Disney movies. So I'd literally just act out Disney movies scene for scene. And, that would keep my mom laughing in dark, sad times. And for me, it just really is something that I feel to this day I give credit for, being able to, still find ways to create joy and encouragement when the times are hard. It's something where, I can fill the room, I can read the room, and, I just bring whatever can be conjured from within me to help make somebody feel better.
Love that. Thank you so much. For those listening, if you haven't already, we have links in the comments for Ace's music. We are coming up on time. Final advice is, starting and running a successful artist career in a business like 5 Mics and You Call Me Ace brands requires a strong vision and a business acumen. And so what advice do you have for artists and musicians out there who are listening, or even entrepreneurs and business owners and founders, whether they starting out or 5 years in other industries, they're looking to, make it big, but they haven't yet. What is something that either you were told and you were happy that you were told it, or something that you wish you were told now versus later?
Yeah. Rest in peace to my auntie Tots. She would tell me to learn something new every day when I was growing up. And it is something that I take very seriously. And I encourage everyone to do that. Just never stop learning. You're not the smartest person in the room. And if you are, that's the wrong room to be in. Always find opportunities to grow. I just brought new people onto our team for 5 Mics, and I was talking to someone that's on the team, and she was telling me things that I didn't know. And I was like, can you please explain that to me? Like, what is that? What is that acronym? What does that mean? And like, I have no shame, like some people might be like, oh, you're in the leadership position, you have to act like you know everything. It's like, not at all. Like, I'd rather I want to hire people that like are smarter than me, right? That can do the thing, right? Like, and then more, right? But then also like, why act like you know something when you don't? You're only going to limit yourself and your team or anyone that you're responsible for, any work streams that you have to do. And so constantly learn, constantly be willing to grow. And, especially if you're an artist, like don't just settle for, oh, I make music. It's like, do you understand the business? Do you understand the intricacies of the business? Do you understand how you get paid? In what ways do you understand? Right? Because if you just entrust that over to somebody else, well, then you're not really in control or ownership of what you're working on, and frankly, your life. And I'm somebody that likes to be able to move the way that I want to move. So always learn something new every day.
Love it. Thank you so much, Ace, for joining us and sharing your story. I know there's so much more that we could have talked about, But we try to keep these episodes short. But so we could talk about. Maybe we'll have him back for another season. Yes.
Yeah. I'd be down. You're dope. I love this platform. I love what you're doing. This is fantastic.
Thank you, Ace. Appreciate it. Folks, this was Entrepreneurship is a Marathon with special guest Ace Patterson, talk about his journey of perseverance and inspiration. And if you haven't already, check out his music, links below. We have 5mics.io as well as callmeace.com. Callmeace.com. So check out those in the show description. And if you didn't already tell, this show is not only about a story, but also about lessons and action items to keep you moving forward in your business and in your vision. We equip and empower you through education. So if you haven't already been tuning in to season 4, keep on tuning in. Special guests with even more insights. Subscribe below if you're watching us on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and subscribe so you can learn more about more upcoming guests that we have coming up. And also follow our podcast on Spotify and send us a rating and a review on iTunes. And folks, remember, entrepreneurship is a marathon, but it's a marathon you don't have to run alone. Toodles.
Peace.
Are you interested in partnering with Vanessa Zammy, the business defibrillator, to revive, grow, or scale your business? Then text 617-959-2203. We specialize in collaborating with storefronts, salons, and shops. That's 617-959-2203 for more details. If you're looking to shock your 10-year shop back to life, then text 617-959-2203 for more details. Thanks for joining us this week on Entrepreneurship is a Marathon. If you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes or Spotify, or if you'd simply tell a friend about this episode. And if you are looking for more tips on reviving your business, make sure to visit our website, vzammy.com. That's vzamy.com. Time to revive, grow, and scale. Visit vzammy.com. That's V for Vanessa, Z for zebra, A for animal, M as in money, Y as in yes.com. Visit vzammy.com for more details.